Happy New Year guys, I'm Boss Nekomamushi and in this video I'll talk about the last chapter of One Piece of 2016, the number 851 that is called Tab End. This chapter starts showing us again Padding that is talking with Reiju about the betrayal of the Big Bam's pirate in the alliance with Germa 66. And we also discover the fact that the devil fruit that Padding ate is Memo Memo no Mi. And through the power she obtained eating this fruit, she is capable of modifying memories of people, cutting and pasting the memory of past events where she wants in the memory of a person. In this chapter, Padding seems if possible also worse than before. Indeed, she demonstrates that she doesn't care about Sanji, and indeed she also denigrates him, and denigrates the moment in which he asked her to marry him. So maybe we have the answer of the question why Padding is talking to Reiju about Big Mom's plan. Maybe this is only because she is capable of deleting the memory of that dialogue from Reiju's mind. But I think that despite of this fact, there was no reason of starting to reveal this plan to Reiju. Maybe she discovered something and so Padding was forced to reveal the plan without risking anything because she is capable of deleting that dialogue from her memory. But in my opinion there is something that it's a bit strange in Padding's behavior and in Padding's way of acting. We will see if she is really evil or if again she is a false liar, she is a false evil person. Indeed, it is possible that she revealed Reiju her plan in order to, in a sense, make Sanji aware of this plan. And indeed, we don't have to forget that she also revealed the plan to Luffy and Nami, and in that situation there was no reason to reveal the plan because Luffy and Nami didn't know anything about this plan and didn't discover anything about Big Mom's plan. So I think that there is something strange in her behavior. But talking about Sanji that is outside the window and that is listening to that dialogue, we see how he demonstrates to be weak in that situation. He demonstrates to be, in a sense, desperate, and this fact is shown through his way of trying to light up a cigarette under the rain. This fact is shown through his tears, and indeed this is the first time we see the adult Sanji crying after the moment in which he left Baratie. So for him is a very important moment, a very difficult moment, and is not reacting with strength. And maybe for this reason he will decide to sacrifice himself in order to protect his friends. Sanji is a very emotional person. He has always been a very emotional person, and maybe this fact comes from the way in which his family related with him when he was a child. Indeed, everyone rejected him, and maybe he now feels in the same situation because the only person that seemed to be a ray of hope in his situation is a false ray of hope, is a person who wants to kill him. So is again a situation in which the ones that are around him reject him, and he is forced to be in that situation because he has to protect the ones that he loves. And maybe because of he's a very emotional person, because of he's a very gentle person, such as Brook says after in this chapter, and because of the fact that his reaction is weak to this situation, maybe he will decide to sacrifice himself. So he will decide maybe to accept the death during the marriage in order to try to protect till the last moment of his life his friends from the threat of Big Mom or of Germa 66. But about Germa 66 we have also to say that maybe they will discover the betrayal of Big Mom. They will discover the fact that Big Mom doesn't want an alliance, but she only wants the military technology that Germa 66 has. And in that case, Germa 66 maybe will fight against Big Mom and so will provoke a sort of war in which Sanji will be able to fight for his life and for the life of the ones he loves, for example. So after this part, the part of padding and the dialogue and the part of Sanji's tears, we see again the Chopper Carrot couple. Finally, they are capable of reaching the castle. Indeed, now they know that only mirrors know what they are reflecting, and so they can ask them where are their friends, and in this way they can easily reach them without being seen, without being discovered. And this is a very important situation. Indeed, they could maybe reach Brook and help him escape through a mirror. Maybe they will reach Pedro, that is fighting against Tamago. Maybe they will reach Luffy and Nami. Or maybe they will reach Sanji. And that will be an interesting situation. But the most interesting situation there will be if they will meet Padding. Because they don't know that she is a liar, and so they could be easily fall into a trap, for example. Then again, finally we see Brook that is fighting against Big Mom. So this means that the cage in which there are the poneglyphs is not made by Kairoseki, and so Brook is forced to fight against Big Mom. But despite the fact that he is facing an emperor, it seems that in some way he now is capable to resist and is capable to continue to fight again and again. And again, this character demonstrates his great determination, and he also says very interesting things. Indeed, he says that his role of acquiring information of the road poneglyph is very, very important, because if Sanji will decide not to come back with Luffy, they will obtain something useful by the travel through the information of the road poneglyph, and so Sanji will not be displeased about the fact that they went to Whole Cake Island but he didn't return with them, because they obtained the road poneglyph. But his mission is very, very important also because he asked Pedro to risk his life in order to make it possible, and also because it's very important in order to reach Rafter. So it's important because it will give the possibility of Luffy to become the Pirate King. And about Luffy, as Brook says, Luffy is the only one that can face Sanji and that can solve Sanji's situation, because as we know, because of Luffy's behavior, but as we know through the dialogue with Sanji, if Luffy will not save him, Luffy probably will die, because he said that he won't eat anything that is not prepared by him. But what is important is that Luffy will not continue his travel without Sanji, because his dream of becoming the Pirate King comes from the fact that he wants to be the person that is completely free through the seas. But he cannot be free if he is not capable to guarantee the freedom of the ones that accepted to help him in order to reach his target. So for him it's very important to guarantee to Sanji his freedom. And from the fight that they had, he understood that Sanji was forced to be there and was forced to marry, so he understood that Sanji is not free in this moment, and for this reason he is determined to risk his life in order to guarantee the freedom of his Nakama. So again there is this fight of will between these two characters. But now Sanji is very weak, and as I said before, maybe he will decide to sacrifice himself, but Luffy, for the reasons that I explained, will not allow this fact. And so again, maybe there will be this fight of will, with Luffy's will that is remain strong and now is stronger, because he now knows that Big Mom's plan is the one of killing Sanji, and so his determination is greater than before. While Sanji's one is weaker, because now he knows that he has no hope of surviving the marriage, but what's more important, he now knows that there is nobody that loves him in that situation, so in Germa 66 and also in Big Mom's crew. The last thing I want to say about Brook is that maybe he will be the most important character of this saga. Indeed, his role has the same importance of the one of rescuing Sanji. And so, maybe he will do the same as Usopp in Dressrosa. He will be the character that will change the situation, the character that will do the greatest strategical mission, and that will complete these missions, and also maybe it will be very important in the fight against Big Mom, because we don't know how his power will interact with the Emperor's one, and I hope that Oda will show this interaction very soon. Finally, we are again with Luffy, that is trying to rip his hands, and Nami there is trying to stop him to do that. But at the same time, Opera starts querying Nami about Laura, and he starts to treat her with a crossbow. In that situation is very funny, because Luffy reassures her saying that he will rip his hands soon, but Nami doesn't want this to happen. On the other hand, she doesn't want Opera to shoot with a crossbow, so both Luffy and Opera call her capricious, and the situation seems very desperate. While finally arrives the ally that will save Luffy and Nami, and is a very predictable ally, because he is the only one that is not in a difficult situation to face, and that so is free of moving in the castle and is free to help Luffy and Nami. And this character is Jimbe. Jimbe that will probably join Luffy's crew after this saga, if he will survive, and that we saw before helping to stop Big Mom's anger when she wanted that particular sweet, and that we saw when he asked Big Mom to leave her crew, and so when he faced the roulette. But we know that he decided not to leave Big Mom's crew, I think because the roulette could cause the loss of an arm, a leg, or of his life, and in that situations he won't be useful for Luffy in order to become the Pirate King. Now the situation is changed, because Luffy, Nami and Jimbe are free to move into the castle, and so Luffy is free of reaching Sanji. Maybe reaching Sanji, he will try to warn him about Padding's betrayal, and in that context, if Luffy will reach Sanji, maybe Sanji will act in this way. He will pretend not to know anything about the fact that Padding is a liar, because he has decided to sacrifice, for example. This is a possibility. But now that Luffy is with Jimbe, that is a very strong character, and so he is a strong hand, and that Chopper and Carrot are capable of reaching the castle, and in particular each point of the castle, and to come back in the mirror world without the possibility of being followed by anyone using Grace's power, the Mugiwara situation is slightly better than before, and what will happen now is very difficult to predict, because it depends on who Chopper and Carrot will meet, on where Luffy, Nami and Jimbe will go, and who they will find. Depends also on what Sanji will do, what will be the end of the fights of Brook against Big Mom and of Pedro against Amaro. So it's very difficult to predict what will happen. But what do you think that will happen? What do you think that will be Sanji's reaction? What do you think there will be the place reached by Chopper and Carrot, and who do you think they will meet? And also, what do you think about the interaction of Brook's and Big Mom's power, and what do you think about Padding's lie? She's a real liar or a false one? Tell me in comments, and if you like the video, put a like and subscribe. I'm Boss Nekomamushi. We will see again with the comment of the next chapter, the 852. Bye.
One Piece!